But please welcome Mel Shilling from the Konsensus Network.
Hi. Okay, so I don't have Mac products, and that's how we play it on here. I'm going to use the slides as a cheat sheet, and we'll just go with that. And I will work quickly because mine is not thinking intense. I'm standing up here in non-natural fibers, looking at all the LED lights, and I don't work full-time in Bitcoin like our earlier guest. So we'll work through this really quickly. Konsensus Network is not the consensus that you think of when you think of like Ethereum on the East Coast. Konsensus, spelled with a K, is a European publishing house. It's now out of Madeira, and they serve authors and readers worldwide. So I work other positions for fiat work, but I do editing work. I'm one of the English editors for Konsensus Network. Oh, shoot. Why is this not? Oh, there we go. So to reiterate what someone said earlier about getting involved in Bitcoin, my backstory is a perfect example of how you can just do things. And I know that's a phrase in Bitcoin, is that you can do things. You can just do things, and you really, really can. I was not the girl in 7th grade that said, oh gosh, I know that I want to be an engineer, or I know that I want to be a nurse. I was someone who collected skills. I was fascinated on how to tinker and learn things. I also collected employment experiences, and you can read between the lines on that one. And I like to gather ideas and think about things. But without that meandering through the many decades, I would not have been suited to be chair of the Environmental Review Appeals Commission, where I currently serve. I would not be prepared to be an adjunct professor in environmental law, and I would certainly not be able to be an English editor for Konsensus Network. I learned about Bitcoin in 2018 when I read a book called Life After Google, and it was written by George Gilder, who's kind of a futurist, and he's a very fascinating man. And I read other of his works, but about 2/3, 3/4 through the book, he had a segment on blockchain, and he spoke about Bitcoin and Ethereum. I had never heard of these things. I was interested in the topic because at the time, I was busy raising children. And so sometimes raising children, you have downtime mentally, intellectually. I can think about things when I'm getting apple juice. So I would contemplate things like big tech, big data, and separating my family's lives, our lives. What impact does big data have on the community, on humanity, and how we move forward as a society? I was thinking, should I de-Google myself? What should I be doing to protect myself and my family? So because I'm not super smart in that area, I decided to read experts and people who know about this topic. And so Mr. Gilder hypothesized that big data will fall, trend toward being used less, and decentralized functions will integrate into society. And I think that is exactly what we've seen. But also, as I was saying, toward the end of the book, he spoke briefly about Bitcoin and Ethereum. He kind of was edging Ethereum a little early, or a little ahead, because Bitcoin was older. He felt Ethereum was moving to a better tech. He liked the smart contracts. But here we are in 2025, and he was wrong. I mean, he gets a lot of things right, but he was wrong about that. So that is how I got into Bitcoin, and it's not my full-time job. So if any of you are thinking about getting involved in Bitcoin, take the skills and the things that you love to do and apply them. So it was 2020, and we were during the lockdown time, and it was just, oh my gosh, you all remember it. It was just a terrible experience for everyone, and we were all a little stir crazy. I had never been involved in social media. I really didn't have Facebook. I mean, I had it, but I didn't use it. So I decided to hop on this thing called Twitter. And I started following all the Bitcoin people, and it was fantastic. That is when I first bought Bitcoin in 2018, but that's when I began to understand the Bitcoin community. And Knut Svanholm, who's an outspoken podcaster and author, indicated he was looking for an editor. And my work at the Environmental Review Appeals Commission was highly technical and required me reading through engineering reports and understanding, groundwater modeling or air emissions calculations. So I thought, okay, I can probably decipher it and add some value to what he did. So he said, I'll ship a couple chapters to you. And he shipped the whole book, and I made some comments, sent it back to him, and he said that's exactly what he was looking for. So I encourage you to take your skill set and just offer it up. Just throw it out there. Somebody will need what you do because you do it in a very special way. So about Konsensus Network, could I grab water behind you? I have a little glass right there. Oh, no, I have my glass. I don't want to take your, okay, thank you. Okay, so Konsensus Network itself, its mission is to enrich minds and inspire growth by publishing narratives and stories, fostering a deeper understanding of freedom, not just Bitcoin, but freedom. And so here are some of the numbers that Konsensus can proudly talk about. It's worked with over 50 authors, published at over 100 titles, in over 12 languages, and distributed in over 20 countries. Over 50 translators have helped to get books into the hands of native languages. They have 2 publishing partners and 4 distribution centers. Oh, I forgot to say this earlier. If anybody has any questions, stop me, because I'd much rather this be a conversation than me talking all the time, which seems to be how it's going. So if you have a question, just jump right up. Anybody have one right now? Darn it. Okay, so at this point, I want to tell you, you kind of have an idea of what Konsensus does, but I want to tell you some of the market trends that we're seeing. And these will make sense to you when I say them, is we are seeing more writers than readers right now. The Bitcoin internal market is very saturated. And I see this as a bullish thing. So in theater, there's this idea of when you are on stage and you have something to say and you're passionate about it, you use your words. And when you can no longer speak, you sing. And when you can no longer sing, you dance. And so you get musicals. So in the Bitcoin world, we have written books. And when you can no longer you understand a topic, you move to expressing it. And you express it through writing books or writing articles. And then when you get past that, then you become a podcaster. So, but we're going to talk about books. So I think this is incredibly bullish that the community has moved from understanding the technology and understanding the function of money, or beginning to understand the security functions of the network. And we're moving on to, and most of the people in the network, when you listen to a podcast, there will be some things that are new, or you read a book, there will be some things that are new, but so much of it is something you already know at this point, and that's great. We're also, like many areas, seeing the rise of the independent author. It used to be that Konsensus would receive a manuscript from an author and then sign the author and work the author all the way through the process. Now, authors, with the help of AI, I'm telling you, the manuscripts, the qualities that I'm getting now, so much better because the authors are running them through the AI, and they're running, advanced spell checks and grammar checks. So the quality, and you can ask, I have a list of prompts that I can give you if you're writing that you can run your work through an AI that help you produce a better cohesive work, and you'll step back and you'll say, that's really what I wanted to say, but I wasn't able to come up with the words myself. I can also give you a list of 5 tells that, as a reader, I know you've just churned it out of an AI. It's just pure AI slop. And so, X is a very brutal place for me to read right now because so much of what's posted is just churned out of Grok or whatever they're using. So anyway, it has upped the quality of what authors are sending in, and that's exciting. I like to see that. So Konsensus has shifted its focus from incubation of an author's work to piecemeal. So if you want to reach out to Konsensus for ISBN management, if you want to reach out to them for holistic editing, if you want to know how to do typesetting or formatting that's unique to the work you're putting together, you can just buy those a la carte. You don't have to get the whole author package. So that's, I think, a really neat thing to be able to offer. Any questions on those 3 trends that I've spotted? Come on. All right. All right, and so this is my last topic, so be thinking of questions. So breaking into the mainstream. Most recently, I worked with Larry Lepard on his book, and I know that some of you will have read it, the big print. Thank you. So every once in a while in your life, you get a chance to do something that you think's really cool. And I'm telling you, Larry is exactly the man you see on the podcast, and he's even better than that. So whatever you think it might be like to hang out with him, it's even better and more fun. So, he has a book agent, and his book agent is also Natalie Brunell's book agent. I was not involved with Natalie's book, but I have read it at this point. It's going to come out next week. The launch party is next week in New York. But her name's Maura, and she has been unable to get a mainstream publisher interested in Larry's book, which is staggering to me. How can people not, in the business, in the technical field, not want to know this information? But there has not been what you would think of as a breakthrough artist for this new genre. And I'm really thinking Natalie's book might be the one. I've got little cards up here that have a QR code. So once it's launched, you can order it. I am telling you, this does not benefit me in any way, but I have read it. And I don't know how many people are familiar with the show CBS Sunday Morning or something. Okay, so somebody described, I've not watched it, I've seen a segment or two. Somebody described Natalie's book as that for Bitcoin, is that it's this feel-good, warm, you're going to, this is the one you pass out to your sister, you pass out to somebody who has a soft spot and you want them to know about Bitcoin. But there's no way they're going to read the Bitcoin Standard, they're not going to read Larry's book, and they sure as hell aren't going to read Broken Money. Which I think is fabulous. I mean, that was just a treatise. That could be a semester-long class in a master's program. It's just phenomenal. But this is the book to give at Christmas. And like I said, I get no benefit from it. I had nothing to do with that book, but this is the one. So the hope is that Natalie's book she does have a mainline publisher. It's Harriman House. It's out of the UK. And it's the only one that would take her book. But I'm hoping that she will break that Bitcoin glass ceiling, and then other authors like Larry will be able to break through and be able to tell their story. Because I had my uncle read Larry's book, and he's 85, and he was just, he felt like Larry had lived his life, or Larry's dad had lived his life. So it was very meaningful, but no publishing houses are going to pick it up. The other aspect I'm seeing, the other trend I expect in the next 3 years, is a growth of fiction. So if there are any fiction writers or anybody who in their hobby does a little sci-fi or whatever, I think that I've been working with 2 authors. Avi Burra, he wrote 24. He's releasing July 18 next week maybe this week, at the UK Bitcoin conference. He's writing kind of a fantasy, he's on book 3, a fantasy spy type novel, and it's very engaging. It's kind of like National Treasure for Bitcoin with a little fantasy spun in. So it's kind of a fun read. It's not hard, it's a great way to relax. You could even read it on your daylight. The other author is Alastair Mitchell, and he wrote what I would think of as the quintessential Ethan Hawke, Jean Le Carre, Brad Thor type novel. So he's building out the Satoshi Inquisition, the Satoshi Fortune, and that genre. So I think between Natalie's book and some of the fiction, which I anticipate over time these will turn into Netflix, streaming specials, that sort of thing. I think we'll be able to get Bitcoin into the mainstream. And while all of us here think that the technology is really cool, the way you nudge society into something is through fiction or through these soft launches of technical things. And both these fiction authors have done a really interesting job of weaving mining or wallets and these discussions among the characters. And then they're good. Avi, who wrote, is an electrical engineer by trade. So he's very careful with his descriptions, but he's also worked to make sure that you understand it when you read it. So now what questions do you have? Yes, oh, good. Yes, Avi, Aviburra, and he also does an Anthony Bourdain type television show, streaming, like online. Yeah, and the other one is Alastair Mitchell, Mitchell. So, because you are the first one to ask a question, you get this, and I want you to write your name and your address, and I'll send your choice. Tell me what you want, either a signed copy of Larry's book or Natalie's book. Okay. So I'll get it to you. Oh, wow. So let me ask, anybody else have a question? Yes.
So I have a buddy, I was trying to get him to come tonight.
Uh-huh.
7 minutes away. Wouldn't come with me.
We'll go to his house.
Because at first Bitcoin was bad because of energy. Now Bitcoin's bad because it's affiliated to Trump and stuff.
Oh.
And I have been working on him for like 6 years.
Wow.
Long before there's been any political grab towards Bitcoin.
Right.
Right? But unfortunately now it's, whatever. It's been politicized in some people's views, like his. Does Natalie's book help? I know it's called Bitcoin is for Everyone. Mm-hmm. Does that help? Since you've read it, do you think that would be a book that might help someone who is opposed for political reasons?
Yes.
Towards Bitcoin?
I do, because it approaches, I should have let you finish, sorry, I got so excited to answer that for you. But yes, I do. It tells her story. I don't know if you've listened to many podcasts of hers, but her family lost her house. Her parents lost their house in the 2008 crisis. And she talks about her parents being immigrants, and it also discusses Human Rights Foundation. It talks about the monetary system in a very simplified way, and some of the graphics are just, I can't believe nobody has thought of those before. I think your friend will like it. So why don't you write your name? And if you don't want to give that book, you can get one to him. So get that to me at the end, and we'll get that to your friend. Sure. Yes.
Can you read a book faster than you listen to a podcast?
Oh, so here's a hack. So there's one called Natural Reader, and then there's, it depends on you, of course, but there's a thing called Natural Reader, and then there's another one, and I can't remember. If you just ask, what are the, so if you really want to get through something super fast and you want to have great retention, turn that on a voice, and I recommend choosing like a British accent, because if it's an AI and they say a word wrong, your brain's going to get hung up on that, but all the words are a little off in a British accent. And so you have it on your screen, get on your walking pad or whatever, and watch the words and listen to them, and your retention of the material while you're doing this is going to be legendary. It's like mainlining the text into your brain.
Better than plugging into the Matrix and the black.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. Red pill, blue pill. What other questions? Okay. All right, thank you. Oh, sir.
I remember you talking about that you had mentioned that you had prompts for writers, prompts, like AI prompts.
Yes, yes.
I'm just now learning a little bit about AI prompting.
Okay.
Are you giving out like, essentially
I can.
a prompt like that?
Yeah, well, I can. We can do. We can. I can give you a list.
Thank you.
Yeah, are you in the Telegram group?
I am.
Okay, I will. I'll put that up there in the next couple of days. I'll refine it a little bit. What are you writing?
I'm not. I actually am more so curious on how a prompt is kind of created.
Oh,
or
okay.
How it's structured and things like that. So.
Ask the AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one that I see a lot, but
Yeah.
knowing that it's from someone who might be actually using them is
Right.
quite interesting for me to maybe gather some.
Sure, I'd be happy to. I'll get some to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yes.
I'm curious if you know, I've been waiting for Leon Wackum's book
Yes.
about real estate and Bitcoin. I think he's a German guy.
Right,
Do you
I know
anything
you're-
about that?
I
Or who's
don't.
publishing
That's.
there?
I don't know who's handle. I wonder if it's through the Safe House. You know, Safe does some really awesome works, and I think his is going to be of that upper echelon caliber. It's not, you know, it's going to be very detailed. I think I know who's editing that too.
I'm waiting for it because I'm in that industry and I want to.
Yeah, of course, of course.
What was that other name? Leon Wackum, Wakum. He's been on a bunch of podcasts, Preston Fish's podcast, but he's a real estate developer, but just talking about Bitcoin in that industry.
Okay. Any other thoughts, questions, feedback? Oh, yes, sir.
Just a burgeoning podcaster here.
Oh, awesome.
Not very good. It's a very small channel, but I'm trying. Any tips or encouragement that you have suggested?
I know zero about podcasts other than I love them. I would recommend sticking with it. I don't know how many you've done. How many have you done so far?
Not nearly enough.
Okay,
60 or 70.
60 or 70, that's great. Does anybody have any tips on how to get more people to listen to somebody's podcast? I mean, the obvious thing is clickbait. I hate to recommend that, but it seems to work for everybody else. Yeah, yes.
Collaborating with other podcasters.
Oh, that's a great recommendation. I've noticed to add to that, I've noticed a trend of, you know, panels, like 2 or 3 people, or 4, and that seems to work. I mean, I think we are all like solo interviewed out almost to the point. It has to be something so unique and so, you know, cutting edge that nobody's covered it before. But if you collaborate with others, bring people together, you're tapping into their network as well as yours. So maybe try that, and make sure everybody here. Are you in the telephone group, the Telegram group?
I am in the Telegram group, but I'm virtually signed up.
Okay, same. But I would highly recommend making sure all of us know what your podcast is. We don't know, and we, of all people, should know. Yeah. Yes, do. All right, we look forward to watching and listening. What else? Okay, thank you all. I hope I didn't take too long.